Yo, what's going on, everybody? I'm back to give you guys my favorite plays for this big slate we got for a Thursday, which is pretty weird because Thursdays are usually one of the shortest slates on DFS, so it adds to how this NBA week has been pretty strange. Last night, I did not cash last night. I hit about a 270 on DraftKings, but I had Iguodala and Jordan Bell, and they did not really perform well at all, so did not make the money, unfortunately, last night. I did make out on FanDuel 50-50 with about a 324, but nothing great. Anyway, let's get into tonight. So we got a 9-game slate. At point guard, let's start it off with Elfrid Payton at 6,400. Perfect time to jump right back on Elf Payton if you're a GPP player. I like him a lot at this price tag. I mean, his price tag took a big drop, almost $1,000 from his last game. His minutes have been down, but I think that's mainly due to the blowouts and the fact that he's not playing great. But we all know Elf Payton still has huge upside in the 50s. And this could be a good spot to go right back to him because a lot of people in DFS, they do game log hunting where they just click around on players, see which players have been performing well, and if they see a guy that has a couple of bad games in a row, they will definitely just go on to the next player. So I think Elfrid Payton will probably see reduced ownership in what some perceive as a tough matchup, but this isn't a super tough matchup. Rubio's not an elite defender by any means, and Elf Payton did have a triple-double when they met this year with 51. Big upside with him at 6,400. He's one of my favorite GPP point guards on the slate. Tons of upside at that price tag. At shooting guard, let's go with Jamal Murray at 6,400. I love Jamal Murray at this price tag. Once again, I like him at 64, and he has a great upside in this matchup at home in Detroit. I always like to play Jamal Murray when he is playing in Denver because we all know his three-point percentage is huge. Dropped 41 against his team earlier this season. Pretty consistent, as you see. Minus that one game against Dallas where he just did not shoot the ball well. Pretty consistent, getting you close to 30 most nights, as long as the game stays close and it gets over 30 minutes. The Pistons have looked horrible, but we all know this Nuggets team plays great at home, so the Nuggets can if the Pistons can kind of keep this game close, could turn into a shootout, and Jamal Murray has big upside at 64, so I like him a lot at that price tag. At small forward, let's go Joe Ingles, 6,400. Let's go on the other side of the ball with a Jazz player. Joe Ingles, super consistent, great matchup against the Suns right here. Last game, he was probably going to hit 50 DraftKings points if the game did not blow out. Only got 27 minutes, but put up 39 in those 27 minutes. Really consistent, as you see. Most of the time, he's going to lock for at least 30 in this matchup, with upside close to 50, I think. Yeah, dropped 47 in a similar matchup to Orlando, and the Suns are kind of playing the same up-tempo pace. I think Ingles has great upside at 6,400, and he's probably going to be one of the lower-owned Jazz players, as people just do not really like to play him. I think people will most likely play Donovan Mitchell and maybe pay up for Ricky Rubio, but Ingles has just as much upside as both of them, and his ownership should be reduced. Let's go on to power forward. At power forward, let's talk about Larry Nance at 6'4". Once again, going with another guy whose price tag took a big hit. He should be fine for this game. That's what he said. He's fine. He hurt his hamstring. The Cavs were blowing out the Suns, so he only played 14 minutes. A nice drop at 64, still has upside in the 40s. I think he can get there as the Cavs are going to need his size to defend some of these Portland bigs. Portland does play a lot of bigs. Tristan Thompson is still out. It's kind of a no-brainer for me at 64. Kind of a safe play, and he should get a lot of opportunities to get dunks and putbacks in this matchup. So at Nance at 64, pretty much a lock for me. And power forward is looking pretty weak. There are not a ton of other guys that I do like at similar price points or even as value plays. So I think Larry Nance should be a pretty popular play, but for good reason. And then finally at center, let's go with Jusuf Nurkic, 6,400. Probably my favorite play on the slate, just because we all see how bad the Cavs have been against centers since they've traded, since Tristan Thompson's gotten hurt, and they made some of those trades. Worst in the league in the last 10, giving up the most DraftKings points to centers. Larry Nance is super undersized, playing the 5. He cannot stop anyone. Jusuf Nurkic should absolutely go off in this matchup. He had a similar matchup against an undersized Bam Adebayo, and he dropped 57 in that one. I think at home in Portland, Yusuf Nurkic has loads of upside in this one. Already coming off a 42-point game against the Cavs earlier this season. And now with Larry Nance in there, an undersized guy, I think Nurkic should absolutely crush and should be a great play tonight. I'm expecting over 50 DraftKings points tonight from Nurkic. I think he will be in both of my lineups. That's probably one of my favorite plays on this slate at just 6,400. So I love Yusuf Nurkic a lot. He's definitely my favorite play at center at that price tag. So there you have it. Those are the 5 guys I have for you guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and good luck.